But what you could do is engineered systems. So you could do engineered systems. In fact, the requests we're getting now, the inquiries we're getting, nobody's got a proposal in, but the inquiries we're getting are in the F&A district, are for very small scale subdivisions, 3, 4, 5 house lot variety, on significant parcels of land where there's lots of opportunity for open space, but they want to have sizable individual lots as well. So they might, instead of the normal 4-acre lot, which is what you would do if you didn't have to cluster, they might want to do 1.5 acre or 2-acre lots with lots of open space, and just 4 or 5 of those lots. And in those circumstances, which I think probably is now the norm, I don't think we're going to see any large-scale subdivisions out there for demographic and other reasons. In that situation, there's absolutely no reason why those lots couldn't have individual wells and septic systems. None. It meets all the state codes. They can meet all the open space requirements, nor is it necessary or affordable, for that matter, to do power underground. Everybody else has power overhead in that area, even the larger, newer subdivisions. So, in response to that, we're taking the opportunity to amend the clustering to allow on-site subsurface wastewater disposal and wells, as long as you have individual lots that are at least 2/3 of an acre in size. That's sufficient under state law, more than sufficient under state law, to meet the subsurface wastewater disposal requirements, and we would allow utilities to be overhead. So we're kind of catching up to what we're learning since the recession. There weren't any proposals during the recession at all, period, none. Now we've had a couple of inquiries, and this is what we're getting. So that's the proposal.
Thanks, Evan. I'll open the public hearing. Discussion, comments?
I just have one comment on, that's number 9, the last item here.
Yeah.
And I had to read this several times to figure out what was going on in it, and decided in the end I was okay with what was going on in it. But seems to me that maybe one could make 2 paragraphs, one dealing with all the other zones,
Yep.
and then a separate paragraph for the F&A district.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's easy to do, and I can see exactly where somebody reading this long thing would have to read it 3 times. I can do that. That's a format change.
So, Evan, can you discuss a little bit more about how the economy may be driving this?
Yeah, I don't think there is a market anymore that we'll see for a long time at least for a developer to come in, say with a 50-acre parcel, and propose a 20-lot subdivision in the F&A district. Now, to propose 20 lots, they'd actually have to have 80 acres, 80 buildable acres. So it'd have to be a large thing. And because all the evidence is that the absorption rate is exceedingly slow, very, very, very slow, and that they can't carry the costs of the infrastructure for that period of time. I just don't see it in this area. I just don't see it. I certainly see potential in the low-density residential district. We have so much smaller scale, 2-acre lot or 60-acre-and-a-half lot subdivision. I certainly see potential in town for quarter-acre lot, half-acre lot subdivisions. We've had an inquiry for one of those just recently. But the only inquiries out in the F&A district are, I just want to create 3 lots, on 20 acres of land. And even that's going to have to be, if it's three or more lots, it's going to have to be clustered with 55% of the land in that subdivision as open space for the benefit of the lot owners. And I just don't see the amount of investment required to put road and utilities and stormwater controls and everything else in, and what you can get for them, and the speed with which you can sell it. I just don't think it's going to happen.
So would a new development like this be competing with existing approved developments that are out there and not turning over lots?
Would it compete?
Right.
Yeah, sure.
So so where does that put the existing approved developments if somebody has the opportunity now to take advantage of the new rules?
Oh, they wouldn't want to. I mean, because previous to 2009, which is when all the subdivisions that were presently in place were done. Off of Essex Street, off of Forest Avenue, Crestview, all those. There was no clustering requirement, and they could do 2-acre lots, and that's what everybody did. And Merritt Drive is another. So we got probably 4 or 5 such subdivisions out there. They would not want to turn the clock back, because if they turn the clock back, now they'd be subject to the mandatory clustering rules and the new density standard, which is 1 dwelling unit per 4 acres. So where you could have done 20 lots, now you could only do 10. And they'd have to be clustered. Now you do them clustered and have the benefit of a private road and so forth, but you'd have to have a homeowner association and things that they generally... The provisions of the F&A district, somewhat by design, are meant to slow down the amount of development that would happen in what is a forestry and agriculture district. And probably it's having that effect. But it's not as much as the marketplace, but I think, so no, I think the developments that are there will continue to try to market as they can. I will reformat paragraph 9.
Any other discussion, concerns? Is there a motion?
I move that we recommend these new rules to the town council.
All those in favor? Unanimous? I didn't close that public hearing. It's closed now.
We haven't closed any of them, but that's okay.
I thought I closed 2, but I missed the last 2. Maybe?
That's all right. I stuck it in there.
Okay. Whatever is on the paper, that's what counts. So, all right. Next item is old business. Nothing there.
Mr. Chairman, I would just note, I neglected to note, but you have it in front of you, that when we're talking about the light pole signs, there was a letter from Amy Irish of University Credit Union, which becomes part of the record.
Do we need to read it in, or are we good with
Why don't you read it in retroactively? Yeah.
All right. We do have a letter in front of us that relates to the public hearing, item B, which is the light pole signs. It reads, to the members of the Town of Orono Planning Board, we thank the town for their efforts in proposing an amendment to the current land use ordinance to allow for light pole signs in areas such as urban plazas. Due to a scheduling conflict, I'm unable to attend the meeting in person to share my thoughts, and as such wanted to share them with the board by way of this letter. Light pole signs are used frequently across the state and offer municipalities and businesses another option to designate specific areas or promote events and/or products and services. The allotted light pole quantities, sizes, and location allowances in the proposed amendment are fair and reasonable from both a business perspective and a town perspective. So not to allow for an overabundance of signage, but to allow for enough to make a strong community feel within designated areas. We ask that the planning board vote in this amendment to move forward for a recommendation to the town council. Best regards, Amy Irish, Assistant Vice President of Member Development.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. All right, next item, new business. There's nothing under new business. Next item is discussion. April meeting date, April 20th. Is that a,
April 20th falls inside of school vacation week, and as you know, in March, we had a really close time getting a quorum.
February? Yeah,
February.
yep.
And so our proposal would be to move April 20th to April 27th, if the board wishes to. That's what we would recommend doing. Unless you can all be here April 20th.
I'm fine either day.
I'm fine either day.
I actually can't make the 27th, but I should not be the deciding factor.
I'm not available on the 20th.
But you are the 27th, Jason?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm okay on the 20th.
And the 27th?
If the 27th, is that the following
Yep.
Wednesday? Either one.
Either one's good for me.
27th only.
27th
Won't be here
only?
the 20th.
Okay, so there are 2 or 3 who won't be here the 20th.
Yes, the 27th sounds better.
There's like 4 of them.
Okay.
So change it to the 27th?
Yep.
Do we need to make a motion or anything, or are we good
Uh,
with all agreeing 27th of April?
Why don't you motion it?
All right, do I have a motion?
Move that we move the April meeting till 27th.
Second? Do we get a second?
Second.
All those for? All right, time for adjournment.
So moved.
Thank you very much, everybody. Great help. Thank you.
Thanks. We're done. That is a hard job.